Are you an investor or entrepreneur who looking for a very lucrative opportunity in the new world of midterm rentals? That's right. Today we're gonna dive deep into midterm rental, why you should or should not do it, and also apartments versus houses, which one is better? So hi, my name is Dr. Chow B&B. I have helped over hundreds and hundreds of ordinary people become ultra successful with this business, done hundreds of properties nationwide from coast to coast for the last 8 years. So I want to share my top secrets with you right now, so stay tuned. All right, before we dive into the nitty and gritty, we want to cover what is the difference between short-term and mid-term rental. Short-term is any stays below 30 days, like vacation rental, a few nights at a time. Mid-term is anything from 1 month to 6 months. Long-term is more than 6 months. That's like long-term rental you guys know about. Why mid-term? Here's the question. Would you rather deal with 10, 20 different vacation groups within a 3-month period of time, checking out every single weekend? Or just one company, one entity that will pay you for those 3 months, you make the same amount of profit? Which one would you rather deal with? Of course, all day long, the company, like 10 times less headache, 10 times less work. So my personal story, I started with the long-term rental, didn't make a lot of money at all, like a couple $100 a month. And then I did short-term rental, which is great because I was making 10K a month in only like a year, scaled to a lot of properties. But after that, I was pulling my hair out because I didn't have time to take care of my loved ones or anything like that because I was busy cleaning, busy, taking care of checking out every single weekend. There's like, 20, 30 different families or vacation or checking in and out every weekend. You imagine that? I mean, there's no fun there, okay? So then I decided who are my top clients and why don't I just focus on them? My top clients are companies, insurance, housing, or people who already are accredited, who already have a business, who already have insurance. They are my top level clients because these are responsible business owners, also companies, they have the funds, insurance, housing also, they pay through insurance. So I don't have to worry about the payment. And then I can sleep at night because instead of dealing with 20, 30 different crazy stuff, that events and party every weekend, I'm only dealing with like just a few companies that will book for months at a time, you see? So that's why midterm rental or corporate housing is the key to the industry, the key to your financial freedom, your mental freedom, okay? Trust me on that. And I'm the pioneer that will show the masses on how to do this as well. So that's why if you haven't followed, share, subscribe, please do so now and share this with other people, help as many people get financial freedom as possible. There's plenty for everybody, right? All right, the pros and cons of an apartment, all right? The pros is that when you do apartments, you can actually scale very quick because you have so many units in the same building for you. So that way you don't have to go out and look for another property set up, all of that, it's all right there for you. So it's very convenient and it's very easy to scale. The other pros about an apartment is that it costs less because the space is smaller to set up. So usually apartment like 2-bedroom or max 3-bedroom, smaller spaces cost less to set up. The other pros with the apartment is you have the amenities, you got the pool, you have the workout room. A lot of young professionals would love that, right? And then there's probably maybe like maid on staff that clean for them whenever they need it. So those are the pros for the apartment. Now what are the cons for the apartment? The cons for the apartment is that even though it costs less to set up, you can make less profit per apartment. Why? Because our formula is double the market rent is what we charge to these companies. So apartment is a little bit smaller. So usually the market rent like $1,000 to $2,000. So you can only charge $2,000 to $4,000 a month. So you make like $1,000 to $2,000 a month net profit. Now a house, you can charge them about $5,000 to $6,000. You're renting it for like $2,000 to $3,000, charging the company for like $4,000 to $6,000. So you make like $2,000 to $3,000 a month. The other cons with the apartment is there's a lot of neighbors around you, and a lot of neighbors are nosy. They could complain if they realize that you do a little bit shorter term, more transient. But if you do midterm rental, like I was saying, most of the time they don't even know. The other cons of the apartment is that it's harder to host a big company or an insurance family. It's a family with kids and dogs and cats. They want a house. And also the big companies as well, because it costs them a lot less to rent one home that they can host 5 people instead of renting like 3 apartments, right? All right, let's talk about houses, the pros and the cons of the house. The pros in a house is that it's like a home. It is a home for people. People love having home instead of an apartment where there's more like, so many people around them, right? People have space, people have backyard, families have pets, have kids. They must have a home with fencing backyard, man. It's night and day for them. Okay, the other thing that is awesome about a house is that you can host a lot of people. Let's say you have 6 employees. Well, is it cheaper for you to rent one home or rent out 3 apartments? Of course, one home, right? So that's why a home can allow you to do that and host a lot more employees. Therefore, you make a lot more money. You have a bigger clientele that are bigger companies. And also insurance housing as well, because insurance housing is for families who need a place to stay when they go through a disaster, hurricane, flood, etc. Well, if you're a family with kids, with dogs, would you rather stay in a home beautiful like this, or you rather stay in apartments? Of course, a home, right? Therefore, you are able to attract a wider variety of bigger clients, as you will. Whereas the apartments is great, but it's for more like travel nurses or relocation professional, young professional, that kind of thing. Whereas if you're dealing with a company, like corporate housing or insurance housing, it's not really their money per se, plus they have the resources, so they're able to pay more and they're not going to nickel and dime you. Now, the cons of a home is when you host the dogs and kids and pets and all of that, it can tend to be a mess. But as long as you collect a big deposit up front, and it's a company, it's insurance pay, night and day, so much better than vacation rental, trust me on that. Now, the other con for a home would be it's harder to scale, because it's not like you go to this home and you're like, hey, can I just rent next door? Well, it's not owned by the same person most likely. But in apartments, you're just like, hey, can I rent another unit? Sure, rent as many as you want, so very easy to scale with that. Whereas this, you gotta find another landlord, you gotta find a new person to talk to, and you gotta start a process again. However, if you are in good relationship with the landlord, they probably have other properties, just not in the same building, The other cons for houses is bigger, so it costs more to set up. However, the pros to that is you can make more, because the formula for this business is double the market rent. I think I covered that earlier. Usually a house, you rent it for 2 to 4K depending on where you are in the country, and then you can charge double that. So that's 4 to 8K a month. And then you make the difference. That's why it's called arbitrage, right? So that's why it's so lucrative, because the profit margin is so huge. So that's why the apartments will make less, because they are smaller. Houses you make more because they are bigger, they can host more people. All right, so what is my preference? People ask me all the time. Depending on where you live. If you live in like a very high demand area like DC or Seattle, stuff like that, maybe your only option is to do apartments, because houses cost way too much. Those expensive places, you can charge double the market rent. So I have clients in those expensive urban area, they're able to make more for the same amount of work versus somebody from like Texas or any kind of like more rural area, then we make less, but we can do more properties. So if you live in like Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, someplace where it's not super high urban, I would highly recommend do houses to get going, to get started. Because houses, you can host insurance housing, which is my favorite, and also companies as well. Now, if you like apartments, you can do that too, you can scale quicker. So it's really dependent on your preference, right? As a beginner though, I would definitely do at least 1 houses and 1 apartment and see which one you like. So do 1 of each, right? I did both. I did anything from 1 bedroom all the way to 5 bedroom. You gotta go out there, test yourself, which is your style, what you like to do. Your local area will reflect that as well. And the regulation, the HOA as well, to find out those laws, regulation within those community that you're a part of. But anyway, if you want to learn more detail, you can book a strategy call with our top advisor, where we dig into your area and we dig into your background, your preference, your experience, and where you want to go, so we can customize a game plan for you based on where you are and where you want to go, right? So you can book that call with our team. It's worth over $1,000 an hour strategy session. I'm willing to give it to you for free. So very limited time only. So do that before it's gone, okay? All right, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope I add some value to you in your life. If you find this valuable, please hit the like, share, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, share this, help this, spread this message. This is what got me absolute financial freedom. So thank you so much. Take care and God bless. Peace.